I have two questions. Might as well get them out of the way right now. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Excited about Washington's game. And with that being said, this is the first Big Ten matchup inside of Galen. What do you want the fans to know about the mindset that this team is bringing and the energy of this team for their first matchup?
Yeah, sorry guys, I was a little late. We were coming right down from practice. And good to see you guys. We're excited. Everyone knows that conference play, everyone's, 0-0. There's a different level of intensity. After this first weekend, half the league will be on one and half the league will be 1-0. So obviously, I think our players understand the importance and, we're really excited. I think non-conference has tested us in a lot of different ways, and I think we're a better team than we were a month ago. But Washington's really good and coming in here as a top 25 team and undefeated, so it'll be a big challenge.
And second question, Sellers and Howell are two of the main characters for the Washington team. Sellers likes to get downhill, but she can shoot the three. And Avery, of course, is the 3-point specialist for that team. They space the floor real well, and they run some horn sets. What might there be some challenges that we'll be facing guarding those two, if any at all? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, really good players, obviously, but an excellent team. So those two shoot the three extremely well. The team has good ball movement. You got to be ready to guard. You got to be ready to kind of not let them be comfortable in what they like to do. Poses, a lot of challenges as any good team would be. You didn't even mention Dean, who, I think was their leading scorer last year, who's just coming
Yeah,
back. So it's not really a team where you focus on one player, certainly, but you got to focus on concepts and, make it as difficult as possible on them.
thank you.
Haley, go ahead.
So Washington is really tough on the boards. They're a great blocking team as well, and those are areas that you guys have kind of been excelling into this season. So what are you kind of anticipating in those battles, and what has your team prepared for that?
Yeah, we have not excelled on the boards. And so that's something we've challenged our team, to get a lot better at. We know that any team, if you give them second and third opportunities, can get you, but certainly a team that is as, talented as Washington. So we need to do a good job of limiting them to one shot where we can. And obviously we want to be a team that where possible, we give ourselves extra, attempts. So it's been a point of emphasis. It's been a focus. We got to rebound the basketball. And we're going to, do our best to continue to emphasize that with our team.
All right, I see a hand raised, so you can go ahead and go next.
Hi, Coach. This is Chris from the Best W Show. So you've scheduled some competitive games to prepare the team for conference play, and sometimes tough matchups early can impact players' confidence. What do you say to your team to help them drown out the noise and stay motivated and embrace the growing process that these competitive matchups can bring?
They've been great with that. I mean, I definitely think it's made us better. I don't think you learn a lot about your team if you're only, winning games by a lot of points that were maybe there's, some teams that just don't have the talent or athleticism that you do. We think it's our challenging games that have exposed us a little bit and made us eager to get better. There's times at which even in a win, we'll say, hey, we gave them a look here. This won't cut it if it's Washington. This won't cut it if it's UConn or whoever's coming next, right? So I think the challenging schedule, number one, is to prepare us for conference. Number two, it's just to have us, be a team that is willing to take on all comers and get better. And that's the only way to learn is with those tough, matchups. I think our team has been really good about that, and not losing confidence through tough things, but really actually gaining confidence that, it takes what it takes. It's hard, but you got to be able to do it if we want to compete at the level that we expect to compete at.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Tammy, do you have anything you want to ask?
Hey, Coach.
Hi, Tammy. Good to see you.
It's great to see you too. Thanks for doing this, Gia. Thanks for the quick invite. Coach, what can you say? I mean, whether you're a freshman or a newcomer to a program through a transfer, what can you say about your newcomers coming onto the campus and getting used to settling into the academics and the rigor and the schedule, and then now the non-conference and now Big Ten? What can you say about what you've seen with your newcomers so far?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think people don't realize like everything that comes with being at a new program. You look at a freshman first and foremost. I mean, Jazzy's just such an exceptional player and person. But, we talked about other teams will put a 22-year-old on her, and she's
Yeah.
been here for a couple months. everything's new. It's a great opportunity, I think, to lean on your teammates, to embrace the challenges, like the grind of Division I basketball. That's the fun part, right? Like we play 35 games or whatever, but we're a team, every single minute of every day. And so it's new for all of them, from academic meetings to, the way that we train, the way that we do nutrition or strength and conditioning. So you see them growing in leaps and bounds when they're new. So Jazzy's obviously the biggest example because she's a freshman and she's young, but I think Cara Dunn and London have been exceptional in that they've played for 3 years at another place and then come in with experience kind of about how it works, but have embraced taking on the newness of what our USC system offers. Same with Dee. Like she's almost like a freshman because when you've been somewhere for 1 year. So whether it's transfers or whether it's, our lone freshmen, the learning curve is steep. And I think that bodes really well for us because I think we can continue to improve, but they've been great at embracing all of it.
All right, Haley, you're up.
You've mentioned, the versatility on your team previously. Is that something that, like, I know you're really intentional in recruiting the players for this year's team. Is that versatility something that you kind of saw coming, or is it something that's like taken on a life of its own as the season has gone on?
A little bit of both. We knew kind of with each transfer, kind of what we thought, they could fulfill for us or what, like a need that they could fulfill or what they could bring. But as it's happened in real time, it's been actually a lot of fun to kind of tinker with as a coach, right? Like there isn't necessarily a guaranteed like, there's Kiki, she's gonna get 20, just if you give her the ball in these spots, right? Like we got to figure it out a little bit, and I think there's a lot of different opportunities for us, and it's been fun to kind of figure out where to put people to try and show them on film, where are their attack spots, who are they playing with, who can you kind of communicate with to get the right look, and we got to keep evolving there, but I do think ultimately that's something that's taken on a life of its own.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Two quick questions for me, if I can. Can you help us better understand on Sunday going against Washington and their defense, obviously scoring defense, I should say. Just their percentages are so strong. So kind of help us maybe understand what we might need, what you guys might need to execute offensively to be able to put up your 74 points a game, because you guys are scoring, but this is a very defensive minded team here.
Sure, yeah, they've historically obviously had very kind of unique scouts for us, right? Like try to take away, certain things, whether it be at the rim or based on individual personnel. So we know that we need to try and pick up the pace, and they kind of want to slow down the pace, I think, for us.
Okay.
I think we just got to move the ball to the shot that we want and not take the shot that they want us to take. And I think, we've got to move the ball and move bodies and try and create a synchronized kind of offensive, scenario, whereas they're, I think, very unique in trying to just, take away certain things on that end of the floor.
Second follow-up question quickly. As we get into the Big Ten network and we are committed, even though Juju is wearing sweats on the bench, committed to continue to speaking about her. Can you help us and remind us too of the things that she is doing for your team to continue to lead and be a leader and help out some of the teammates?
Yeah, I mean, as we're sitting here on the Zoom, she's in the other office with Coach Nikki, whose scout it is, and she's watching UW film. We just really thought it was important to use this year to just keep her a part of everything, but to be able to grow her mindset. I'm not saying she's going to be stepping into coaching anytime soon. I think she's got too much playing to do. But I think just something like that is an example of how she's so connected and wants to be able to, know the game plan and help them specifically. That's one thing just going on right now. I literally had a conversation with Jazzy today just about how, amazing Juju has been to her as a teammate, but really to everyone. She's super present. She's just, as involved and humanly touching everyone as possible. She's up there, she's getting her workouts in. Sometimes, when we're around and we can see her now, ball in her hands a little bit more. So just her presence has been really, really important in every way.
No.
The team is rocking the Juju shoes. I mean, what else can I say?
Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. Yep, I had my shirt on today too for her.
There you go.
But yeah, so as we were talking about, we've seen Juju remain very present and supportive throughout her rehab. But in terms of on-court leadership, do you feel that there's a clear floor general this season, or is that role kind of more of a shared responsibility?
I think there's a bunch of upperclassmen that kind of share it, right? Almost like our leadership council, and that's, our leadership kind of group. I think it's Kara, Kennedy, London, and Malia, right? Like those are the players. Malia and Ken have the most experience, wearing a USC jersey and just the way that they play and their tenacity, like they're kind of natural leaders there. And then London and Kara have been in these moments, right? Like they've been in tough conference games. They've been in the thick of, December and then February, right? Like, so those four, I would say, probably take on the most, responsibility in that regard.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, and we'll wrap up with one final one from Cece. Cece, I think you're muted.
Just one more question about Jazzy. We've seen her evolve through the season, game by game, just doing more and more. And she's been running an offense a little bit. Are we going to see more of that, or is it still? I mean, all the players are free flowing and playing different positions. But Jazzy's been running the offense quite a bit. Are we going to see a lot more of that, or what are we looking at when we look at
Yeah, we
Jazzy?
were definitely, she had missed so much time of practice, right? I don't keep harping on that, but she's a freshman and missed a month of practice. And so when she came back, I wanted first to just get her kind of situated, as quickly as I could. I mean, we obviously her usage rate is insane. We rely on her for a lot of things, but now I'm slowly, giving her just more responsibility, even just as a point guard, right? We know what she's capable of. She can score, she can play make, she can rebound, she can create for others, she can cut off the ball. So yeah, I mean, we want our offense to be fluid, where she can bring it up or she can receive it, just like some other people. But certainly, we're more comfortable, just have gotten her a lot more reps at the point guard, and so yeah, we're doing a lot more of that as well too.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Good luck Sunday.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. Anything else, or we look forward to a big conference game. I think it'll be a big crowd and good basketball game between two really good teams. So excited to have them come down here for a big challenge.